Okay, today I'd like to speak to you about sports psychology and some specific aspects of it, maybe some academic and research side of it, and also some clinical and personal sessions, more specifically. And starting out, the definition of sports psychology is a proficiency that uses psychological knowledge and skills to address optimal performance and well-being of athletes, developmental and social aspects of sports participation, and systematic issues associated with sports settings and organizations. Um, the organization or association, APA, the American Psychological Association, recognizes sports psychology as a proficiency acquired after a doctoral degree in one of the primary areas of psychology. And they did try to point out and say that the proficiency with that should not be confused with those who have earned a doctoral degree in sports psychology but don't have a license in psych, are not licensed to be a psychologist. When going into this field, being a sports psychologist, the person or psychologist should always use these skills and procedures. Like this will some aspects that will be utilized, like the cognitive and behavioral skills, training for performance enhancement. And when you go into this aspect, you will be more so helping with goal setting, imagery and performance planning, self-esteem and sports competence, emotional management, and sportsmanship and leadership skills will be kind of worked with the psychologist and the athlete, maybe even the coaches, is kind of a wide range. Also, they would be doing some could be doing counseling and clinical interventions. With this, they could be more specifically an athletic motivator. They could help with athletes, students, or clients that have eating disorders or trying to manage their weight. They could always also deal with students and such that would have aggression and violence problems, substance abuse, and even the rehabilitation of an athlete that had an injury, like a major injury. And then the last kind of field I kind of want to touch on was consultation training. With this, the sports psychologist would work with a lot of team building, getting them to work together now as a group, perform as a whole, because everybody has an individual job, making them come together better. They could also be the sports organization consultant. They could do education and coaching regarding motivation. So the same thing as getting that team ready for that game or situation they have coming up at night, motivating them, even helping the coaches with getting them set in to go perform. Or it could also be some interpersonal and leadership skills, or it could do talent development. So work with athletes to, you could say, perfect their talent, use it to their full benefit. Help with leadership skills on the field or setting that roll over and be used in their adult world lives type leadership skills as well. So generally speaking, behind the scenes, sports psychologists are a vital part of action, helping individuals or even entire teams realize their full potential, I would say. Sometimes that involves on-field action or off. So most often, it does include thought patterns, coping styles, communication skills, personal dynamics and relationships within a team or just within the athlete. Sports performance psychologists may act as an objective listener to overwhelmed or frustrated athletes who are expected to do too much or have a lot on their plate and have a lot to deal with at a young age, like deal for the most part. Or even on the other end of that spectrum is the individuals that don't get enough playing time or the playing time that they were promised in the beginning. Sports psychologists may also teach relaxation exercises for anxious athletes, like the ones that are just, I wouldn't just say jittery, but very anxious about what they have to do, and also kind of help them calm down before games, or might explain the visual technique to maintain the focus on success, so it will keep their focus in the right direction. Maybe even psychologists even maybe even probe an athlete, try to find a specific reoccurring problem, such as not being able to stay focused. I would say for the most part, it's like when they're doing a specific task and they can't focus directly on that task, they have to go get their mind get off track and go into something else. So they kind of probe and find out what's specifically causing that problem with them. And generally speaking, psychologists make around, starting out maybe like $40,000 a year salaries. But there's a range of psychologists, university psychologists specifically, that make around $60,000 to $80,000 a year. That's ranging, depending on location as well. And there are also other psychological sports psychologist jobs that can well over exceed $100,000 a year annually. So the range I would say I found were $40,000 to at least $100,000 a year, but it all ranges on location, what department, what university you may work for, what organization you may work for. It's a lot of like contributing factors, but that was a general idea of what they would usually make. And that will conclude my presentation. Thank you for your time.